KB here, and yeah, it's been a minute since I talked about MMA. How you guys been? Obviously, you guys know I have had this MMA channel forever, and I'm still actively uploading to it. There are lots of clips, all the media day stuff like that, but I haven't been on camera talking about MMA in a minute. That is true, and I thought, you know what, maybe I should just check in with you guys and see how everybody's doing. So basically, want to ask you guys how you're feeling about the UFC in 2026. I don't. So some people might just go, KB, sour grapes, you don't work there, and so you don't think it's as good. And there might be a little truth to some of the things that I miss. I do miss some things about working there, is what I should say. But it's not just that, right? I think a lot of people collectively have been feeling like it isn't hitting the same way as it used to. So I wanted to do a quick little thing. I looked up who are the top stars in terms of social media right now, who has the most followers. And then it was kind of like, okay, well, let's maybe judge the followers to see what we have in terms of, stars and activity and like who people are looking forward to in the UFC right now. It's a little bit tough, you guys. I don't know if the problem is that there aren't really big stars right now or what's going on or just things are sort of in transition, but it's not looking good, you guys. The person with the most social media following in the UFC is Conor. So we know what just happened with that. That was, if we're all honest, a total debacle. And I believe a lot of us never thought Conor was actually going to make it to that fight anyway. There's no like happiness in finding out you're right. I feel like there was just so much stacked against him that I was very skeptical. I'm not going to lie, very skeptical. If he pulled it off, it would have been incredible. I would have been, excited to see that. But I think it was just insurmountable odds. And it's very unfortunate what happened. It's unfortunate for Max to have gone through all that. I don't love that Max was asking to run it back again for a money grab because I don't think anybody wants to see that. Let me know. Would you get your hopes up again for another Conor fight? Or at this point, has that ship sailed? Curious. Okay, so moving down, the next person with the most social media following is Charles Oliveira. So love him. He's doing great. Charles always puts butts in the seats. I think that's cool. Then we've got Makhachev, who fights when he wants, once a year, maybe. Who knows? Then it says John Jones. And I said active fighters, and the chat still put in John Jones. So we don't know. So he's still got a lot of followers, but we don't know what he's doing, right? Kind of retired, kind of not. Then it goes down to Israel Adesanya, who I love, but that was a tough fight against Piper. Didn't go his way. Then after that, we get down to Ilya. Obviously, he lost. He's still a big star, I guess, I think, right? What will that comeback fight be like? When will that comeback fight happen? I don't know. How long is it going to take Ilya to circle back around? Don't know. After Ilya, then it goes to Khamzat. We love, again, somebody that doesn't fight that often. Alex Pereira fights often, maybe fought too often, and maybe that was a little bit of an issue with him, but we all love Poatan, so he's still a star, I think, right? You guys still like him? Then we go down to DP, Dustin Poirier, who is retired and who is obviously going through some struggles right now. Heart goes out to you, Dustin. I hope you get the help you need. I saw that Budweiser dropped him. I really do hope, Dustin, that things are going your way. You are such a solid guy. And I feel like all of us collectively want Dustin to be doing well. But Dustin's not fighting anymore. So that's not happening. Then it goes down to Sean O'Malley. Okay, Sugar, okay. Sugar, he's taking things more seriously and everything, so that's cool. Then it gets to Max Holloway, who, great, just had that main event with Conor. But again, it was kind of a non-starter and kind of a non-thing. And some people are saying they thought Max's stock went down with that as well. Maybe, I don't know. He's so beloved, right? Everybody loves Maxie baby. Stuff on the mic after wasn't great. Then the next one was Kamaru, who just lost his fight on Saturday night, this past Saturday. So Kamaru has the next social media following after that. And then after that, it's Justin Gaethje, who is champ and everything, but so he just fought, but we don't know when he's going to come back around or how soon that will be. And then they say Paddy Pimblett is after that. So that's the thing. I think Paddy is maybe one of the biggest stars that the UFC has right now. He's on the rise. He keeps winning. He's so good and so entertaining. And he seems like the one now carrying the mantle. I'm curious what you guys thought about, though, these big tentpole shows, because the UFC show at the White House, yes, people were talking about it. A lot of people were very critical. People were excited about it. They trashed the White House, the lawn. They trashed a lot of stuff. But did they talk about it much after that event happened? Not really, right? it was a lot of talk about it on the way up to it, and then not a lot of talk after it. So, did they get their money's worth with all the advertising and the hype beforehand? Maybe, and some of the fights were exciting and stuff like that. But it was very interesting to me, all the talking leading up to it, and then as soon as it happened, and it was like on that Monday, if you weren't in MMA media, like it didn't happen and it didn't. So I'm just curious if you guys thought that was as big a deal as it was supposed to be. And then to have that followed up by the misstep between Connor and Max. So I'm just curious what you guys are thinking right now, like what you're excited about. Now, I do want to comment on some things that have been exciting this year, though, right? So Gaethje, that's exciting, right? Like, a lot of people root for him, and it's been a long time coming. He's been putting in the work and has given us so many exciting fights over the years. So to have Justin with the strap, I think is cool, and that was fun. So that was exciting to see. Carlos Praches. That man is still very, very, very exciting, right? So it was on a 3-win streak, and that win over JDM was very cool. Like Praches is one that I feel like we can get behind, right? So we've got our Patty, we got Praxis in there. And the one that I loved, that I was so excited about working with, and then, I'm not there anymore, and he hasn't been that active, is Michael Morales. So he obviously had that win over Sean Brady, and that was last November, and he was on a 3-win streak or whatever. That guy is a monster. And I really am excited to see what happens with him. So looking forward to that. But there's nothing on the schedule. I just looked at it. I was like, does he have anything scheduled? I'm not sure. So, I don't have all of the inside information as much as I used to have. I still get a lot of it. But I hadn't actually heard what was going on with him. So Michael Morales, wherever you are, dude, fine. You're awesome. So I'm looking forward to more Morales, more Praches. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with Gaethje. And I love me some Patty Pimblett. But that's who I'm excited about right now in the UFC in 2026. I would love to hear from you guys. And like I said, I'm still posting stuff all the time. So you can come here for the media day stuff, and I'm making shorts and things like that. And, maybe I'll get back in here and talk some more and do some more interviews, because I do miss, talking to the fighters and some of my friends and stuff like that. But I did need a break. It was 14 years. It was a long time. And, things are just shaking out, and the UFC looks a little bit different right now. And I'm honestly not as excited to talk about it, which is a bummer in a lot of different ways as well, too. But anyway, do please subscribe. I've been working a lot on my other channel. So I've got the KB2 channel. That's where I've been doing Gen X pop culture stuff, having a lot of fun over there. So I've been spending more time on that. So I'll put a link up here, and maybe you guys can go over there and subscribe. You'll see me a little bit more often over there. But again, just curious what you think of, the current stars in the UFC, who you think the biggest stars are, what you're excited about right now. Let me know in the comments. And yeah, I'll see you around.